Hey everyone, I have here the LEGO Ninjago Ninja Dojo for 2022. The set has 8 minifigures, but not a complete ninja team. There's no Jay or Zane here. This is a small fire mech for Kai, and this is a wheeled vehicle for the bad guys. As usual, I'm going to mostly focus on the main thing that you're paying for here, the big old build, which is done in 2 main sections. I mean, really 1 main section, and then there's a bridge off to a small little island spot to the side. I want you to see also the depth of this in total before we start getting into the details. So it is pretty open around the back, but it doesn't have the typical or historical depth of facade-like buildings from LEGO, which is 2 to 3, available studs. This actually gives you 5 studs of depth in most of the spaces, which is generous because it actually allows you to put multiple minifigures in each of the rooms here, even though those rooms themselves are not all that big. So we're off to a good start here. It looks pretty ornate. It looks displayable from the back, even though it is open. I don't feel like this is a camera unfriendly area. And then this spot off here to the side is completely optional. Obviously, you can just, take the bridge off from the top here if this doesn't fit into your space, but there are also plenty of Technic bricks with the pinhole around to connect this to potentially other things if you want to, without too much additional work and without having to add to it or modify it. So let me take a look at this and show you some of the details starting from the bottom, and I'm actually going to go over to the side here first. This is a spot where the bad guys can break in. This is a breakthrough wall that the included vehicle can hit because it's intended to be a ram vehicle, but yeah, you do like that. Some stuff falls down from above because it's kind of like a trapdoor setup. Put a few studs up on top and it just adds to the debris field that comes out of that. So that's a way to break in. This is sorry about the focus. There we go. That's more like it. This is a very nice little stairway. It looks like broken up rock. While I was building this, some folks had an issue with the small gap that's right here. It's intended to be there. It's supposed to be old and needing of repair or replacement, but it's very easy to modify that if you want to make it look a little bit more continuous. Almost all of the decorations in this are stickers, and I will point out the exceptions to that general rule. Just a little bit of autumn foliage over here, a small balcony, like a lower balcony, almost like a mezzanine kind of area where you can just walk down here. You can put a single figure there. That's it. Another entrance over here, which looks pretty nice. It doesn't have a whole lot of mass to it, but it's set up pretty well. I like the shaping there. Again, that is a sticker right there. You come around to the back. There's a little room to walk through. And then this gets interesting. This is closed up, so it's an interior space right now, but it also opens easily. This is the small workshop space for Pixel to work on mechs and such. You can move the levers around and pretend you push the buttons. Little console. That's a printed console. We've seen that a bunch of times, but the rest of these decorations are stickers. But it's a useful little thing. Of course, you can pull that off and use it separately if you want. And then down inside of there is a storage space, so you can put all of the ninja hoods down in there. Right now, Nia's is in there. Well, you can put 4 of them, obviously. Not a full set, I suppose, but Nia is down there. The buildup of this was awkward to me because this was built relatively early on, and there was just the cowl for Nia and no Nia build. The build of Nia came much later, so I was actually worried at first. I hadn't paid that much attention to the box. I was worried that Nia was going to be missing, and then this was going to be kind of just a remembrance of her. If you look back in that room, though, and you look up, there's a sticker there that represents a TV or a monitor screen with a game that says it's coming soon. The next area over is definitely the most difficult to access and the most difficult to see. It's a washroom, and there's a pair of taps there, water taps, hot and cold. Back on the back wall, a little spider miniature cave down below, a bucket, and on the right is a sink also, but it's just so far in. You can basically have a figure standing at that space, but not really interacting with it. It's a strange decision when everything else is very accessible. And then here's the spot where I broke through the wall. So that just, doesn't have much going on with it. And there's a small corner space that can be seen as a little bit of cave, but that's about it. So let's go across this bridge, which is built up upon a roller coaster element in the original red color. This is nicely done. The hand guards, the rails are done very well. And this does have the jumpers going all the way across so that you can place minifigures anywhere along the way. That is good. That's exactly what I want to see. And then this space here, oh yeah, that's right. You see, I did touch the build, and as such, these candle or torch elements fell off. They just barely sit into the top. The idea here is that you would do training, and you could actually make the this is for Nia and her water power training, to put the miniature fires out, but I found it to be just completely annoying. These fall out with the greatest of ease. So anytime you just about touch the base of this anywhere, it knocks all of them off. And then because of their shape, they roll away. I don't like that. I would have preferred that they be a lot more secure and just force us to have to take the whole thing off. I get what the designer was going for here. Also got a couple of posts over here, a little bit of water. They're really trying to distill a scene down to its essence. And here are some water elements that Nia can use to come from her hands for her training process, and a center pedestal spot for somebody to stand. You can rotate around because it's just a single stud there. Everything else is tiled, and just a little bit of foliage off to the side as well. But again, this is just super annoying. These are always falling off. All right, I'm going to take the bridge back to this next level up and look at just its exterior. The architecture work is really, really nice. The builds are fairly simple, but give you nice detail. There's a lot of soul here, I feel. And not a lot of gaps at the same time. It's really well done. I'm just super satisfied with the feel of this without even getting into individual little fine details. It just works on the whole. Red color for this old door that's been around for a long time with just a little bit of extra detail added onto it is very nice. Got the shurikens to represent the door handles, and this opens up to a wide space, couple of vases on the sides, small lanterns up above. You got the larger ones outside as well. I'm very happy with this. It just looks good, feels good to me, has great display value with how all of this is built up and shaped, and again, leaves minimal gapping. That right there is a print. I think we've seen that one before, if I'm not mistaken. So that is one of those nice rare exceptions rather than getting another sticker. But things like this are done with a sticker. Bring this around. Now we get to the actual stuff, the real stuff, what we care about most, where most of the detail is, where the figures are going to spend most of their time. This is Wu's tea room, obviously, a spot for him or someone else to sit down. And the first ever, I believe, Ninjago alphabet translator. So just a full tile with a 2x4 sticker on it to give you all of the letters of the Ninjago alphabet in universe. Nice to see. It's not something that folks in this world would need to use, but I think it's just really cool to have something that the owner of this can look at through the eyes of a minifigure and kind of translate between our worlds. This is the Armory, which is a nice space. Not a whole lot going on with it, but enough, and built up with some interesting techniques. Not a whole lot else to talk about here, though. So I'll go ahead and move up to the next level. Obviously, training can begin down here and go across the bridge and everything, but this is the main open dojo floor space, and it's got the steps on it, which allows the central entrance hall to be very tall and grand, but does limit a little bit how much play you can do in this space. You've got these temporary small banners which can be replaced. You've also got the Mixels sized ball joints out here. All of these can be replaced with parts from other sets from this series, from this wave, and I think the upcoming wave as well, to put the printed banners in there that you can collect along the way. Got the little shrine to Sensei Yang there. And yeah, this is mostly just available space for you to play with your minifigures and move them around. I think that some of these posts kind of get in the way of that. At least there is plenty of space to put the minifigures in here in different poses and such. But if you want to actually have them going against each other, you might want to just remove one or two of these poles, like especially this one right here. I think it's very important that this be here architecturally and for the look, but I think removing this, which isn't that valuable structure-wise, and also removing this over here might be a good idea for you, for the sake of play. Just an idea. But that's pretty much that space there. You can see some more weapons along the wall as well, which is good to have more options, and also some additional clips for attaching things on. So they definitely give you plenty of excess options. And then up here is some storage space. There's an umbrella there. This is, I believe, a Sensei Yang collectible card. And inside of that container, just a pair of roller skates, a couple of katanas up here, more storage off to the side. And I'll take this off to show you the detail on top. This is kind of nice that it shows something, you know, a little bit out of system to suggest something that has occurred, where the tea was spilled basically after somebody read this newspaper. The snake warriors are coming. I had a lot of trouble making out what I was actually looking at in the picture there. Initially it looked like a Bionicle, but it's actually a snake warrior. You can just barely see the head up to the upper right, but somebody in chat while I was building this on Twitch helped to decipher that. And then inside of that box there is just a microphone, just a basic black microphone for doing some karaoke. But that's about it. So, you know, we just come up to the topper here, which is all pretty proper. And again, looks pretty good from all angles. You know, this doesn't have a camera unfriendly angle to it. And that goes, I'd say, from the very base all the way up to the very tippy top. So good work by the designer there, and good care put into the whole thing. Kai's mech here uses the pre-bent, non-articulatable limb pieces that were introduced last year. Those are the orange pieces for the most part here, so you get bends in the elbow and leg joints, but those don't move. You know, they will just stay as they are. This is really intended to give you a nice looking mech that is playable without using too many pieces, without adding too many pieces to the part count, just in how it's built. And it goes together rather quickly. I think it does look good, and it does still have a decent amount of articulation. It's very playable because you have good range with the Mixel's ball joints, the way that they are oriented here, to move things around with the arms and also the legs. Legs can go quite far. The ankles are useful, so it's not too difficult to put this into a rather extreme motion pose. If I can just get it to, yeah, see, it's not frustrating at all. So from a play perspective, I want to do that. Okay, there it is. I can probably get it to balance just a little bit better, but it works, you know. From a play, let's see if I can get it to show like a kick. Sure, why not? I mean, whatever main thing that you want it to look like it's doing, it can do. So I can't really knock it for its simplicity. There are a couple clips on the back to be able to hold on to additional accessories, such as another one from Kai that he would have been holding. I just took that out of his hand. I intentionally just left his sheath on, which is not ideal, but still there's enough room to make that work. This is a print right here, not a sticker. That's good. And he also has this shooter up on the top, which uses the new style of stud or tile shooter, which is much easier to put together and to operate. And I think it fits in nicely. You know, it doesn't take up too much space. Provides that little bit of extra action if you want it, but you can just ignore it if you don't want it, because there are also a couple of better looking, more realistic looking cannon barrels there. This just uses a slightly lengthened katana for its weapon, but you could certainly do anything that's bar size that would connect to that. And this is the banner that this one can earn. So it's showing the temple there with the nice gold print, which is nice. Well, I mean, it's not just gold, but I like the gold especially. Little snake warrior ram vehicle, little siege vehicle. Reminds me of something from a slightly older time from Lego, with the hard plastic wheels and just its size and everything. It's so simple, but it is designed up pretty nicely. Like, you know, it's done with the mech, the newer version of mech front piece here to cover up the front, and it doesn't look particularly gappy. They add the spikes onto the wheels. which don't move along the way, which is kind of cool. Like this rolls okay, but I don't like the rear wheels. It's like those were intended to be casters. You know, like the whole thing was designed originally to be pushed along, but turning it into a motorized in-universe, a motorized vehicle doesn't make that much sense to me with these little tire-less wheels in the back. But clip on the back here to hold on to a weapon as well, and that's just that. It doesn't do anything other than just allow you to play with it. This can come up, and I mean, maybe you can try to store a little something tiny in there. It doesn't really do anything. I can spin this around if you want to. Why? Just a little thing. The set has both color variants of the latest snake-based warriors. On the left is a boa destructor, and on the right is a cobra mechanic. Different torsos for these, but the same legs between the two. I think they both look pretty good. I think they're set up pretty nicely, and overall the production quality here is good, and they make for respectable looking little bad guys. I'm happy with these. Here are Kai, Lloyd, and Nia with their color-coordinated katanas. Kai's is in his sheath right now on the back. Only Kai and Nia in this set come with hair pieces, but they do also come with the hood pieces. So this is Kai's just off to the side, and you also saw the one for Nia early on, but pulled that out. Over here, no such option for Lloyd in this case, but underneath, familiar looking faces by now, I would say. Pretty decent prints. I think that Nia looks the best this season here. I'm not the biggest fan of this graphic design style for these. It's a little bit flat, but among all of them, I think Nia is the one that I respect the most the look of. And then here's Cole, Master Wu, and Samurai X version Pixel. Now Pixel has I believe a new hairpiece there because it's actually molded in hard plastic. It's not the softer version. It looks a little bit metallic, but it's almost just a dark bluish gray. There's just a tiny bit of very, very fine metallic flake in it as far as I can see. I wish it was more metallic looking. All these figures are decent looking. Cole is my least favorite here, but I think that's my favorite version of Cole's hammer yet, with just a very simple build, you know, kind of properly minifig scaled, not too heavy to make him fall over all the time, but I like the trans orange elements on there. You also get the alternate face here. So around the back, there are those, and I also want you to see the actual face of Wu underneath. That's a good one. Finally, the leftover pieces are just out of control. I feel like I may have missed putting one or two weapons up on the walls in some of those extra clips or something, because this is so many extra weapon pieces. I love it though. It's great to have extras of minifig accessories. I like having extras of these as well. Little bowl, little teacup, good stuff. Very nice. This is what the sticker sheet looked like. That's a fair number of stickers, but you can see some of them are repeated, and it didn't feel bad to me. Now, I paid $100 US for this set, and honestly, I feel like that's okay. I almost feel like this is a well-packaged statement on what you can expect to get, or what you can ask for from LEGO for $100 in terms of amount of stuff, quality, playability, displayability, you know, for something that's not intended to be a collector level set, just a regular middle of the road kind of set. This is it, I think. It's not perfection. It's definitely not perfection, but as far as value is concerned, I feel like this hits the marks. Number of figures, total size of it, amount of plastic, number of pieces. This feels, for the size of the pieces as well, this feels about right. So I'm very happy with this. From a value perspective, I actually have more nitpicks, as you heard along the way, more nitpicks about it than I expected to. More nitpicks as I really got into evaluating it than I thought I would have based on the building experience, because the building experience felt even more positive to me. But in the end, the biggest problems that I have with it are just access, small issues of access, and some of the areas up top are lacking in detail, but they don't need a ton of detail because you need to have space there. And if I compare this to any of the sets from previous golden eras of LEGO for different people of different ages, you know, the golden era is at different points along the way, but all the old stuff from Lego, all the old good stuff from when Lego was actually good, is not this good. It has way less detail. In many cases, less playability, less ability for kids to use their imaginations in play. Just this is good. I feel like I am greedy to ask for more. I feel like I should, if I want it to be better, if I want it to have more going on with it, I should just use my own pieces and add to it. Honestly, that's how I feel, which is unusual for me. I'm usually like, no, the set has to be right, but this is right enough already that I'm only asking for like stretch goals at this point. So good job, designers. Definitely could have used the other two Ninja to complete the team, you know, in a set of this size. But overall, I'm satisfied. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll talk to you again soon.